Howdy, and welcome back. All right, y'all. I get a surprising amount of questions about food or cooking, and today I want to answer some of those. So in this video, I'm going to take you through a typical day of boondocking or camping off grid, and I'll show you exactly what I eat. Good morning, y'all. All right, it is about 6 a.m. I just woke up, and it's a little bit chilly outside this morning. It's in like the low 40s. Anyway, I'm gonna start the morning the way I always start the morning, and that is with a lot of water, some electrolytes, and coffee. For electrolytes, I'm using this stuff called Element. It's got potassium, magnesium, and salt in it. I like to just make sure I'm getting myself hydrated for the day, and especially after sleeping all night. And I like the way it tastes. And the only non-negotiable part of the morning is coffee. I'm a daily drinker, and I love it. I find this to be my most productive part of the morning, so I'll go ahead and make that first cup, knock out some work, and then from there, jump into breakfast around like 9 a.m. But I'm starting to ramble, which means it's time for coffee. So let's make some coffee. I put a kettle of water on the stove, and while that's going, I'll mix up my electrolyte powder and try to finish it before the water comes to a boil. For coffee, I'm not too particular. I just do about 4 scoops per cup into the filter, and then I pour the hot water over the top. When it's finished, I transfer the pour over to the other cup just so it has a place to drip. Alright, it's about 9 a.m. I've had a good productive morning. I got a ton of editing done, but now I'm about ready to have some breakfast. So for me, the star of the show at breakfast is protein. Don't get me wrong, I love biscuits and pancakes as much as the next guy, but I notice when I eat those things early in the morning, I'm ready to go back to bed afterwards. So I'm gonna go with 2 eggs, apples and peanut butter, and a protein shake. Let's do it. To start, I heat up the top of the Dutch oven, and the secret to perfectly fried eggs is low heat and enough oil. I spread the oil around on the pan, and then I crack 2 eggs right on top. And while those are starting to cook, I go ahead and slice up the apples. You'll know the eggs are ready to flip when they start to release from the pan on their own. The flip is by far the crux of perfect eggs. I finish with salt and pepper, and then go ahead and mix up my protein powder. All right, so it's about 11 o'clock. I just finished doing some filming this morning, and now I'm gonna have some overnight oats. So as the name implies, I make these every evening and leave them in the refrigerator to hydrate overnight. And my recipe is super simple. It's just in a ball mason jar, oats, raisins, cinnamon, maple syrup, and water. I shake all that up, leave it in the fridge, and then it's ready to rock and roll by like 11 o'clock the next day. So if I know I'm gonna miss breakfast or something like that, I can even add in some like chia seeds or maybe my protein powder. Basically, for an on-the-go meal, you can't do much better than overnight oats. I make them almost every single day, and I never get tired of them. For ratios, it's really easy. I put in oats to just above the bottom of the B on the ball mason jar. The other ingredients are personal preference, and then I fill it up with water to just below the rim, and then add maple syrup last. All right, so it's a little after 1 p.m. and I'm getting ready to make some lunch. Today we're just gonna have some stir fry. That's gonna be turkey, carrots, kale, and rice. Should be really simple and easy. I'll show you how I make it. I'll start by getting the Dutch oven on over medium heat, and then I'll add a little bit of oil. And once that's warm, I'll put in my ground turkey and then start to get that broken up. I'll add in herbs and spices along with salt and pepper and red pepper flake. I'll stir that up a little bit more and then even add a splash of water just to keep it from sticking to the pan. Once it's cooked through all the way, I'll transfer half of it to a Tupperware container to use for dinner. And then I'll use half of a pouch of jasmine rice and add in chopped carrots. Put the lid on and cook it for a little bit, and then I'll add about 2 handfuls of kale and fold that in. All right, y'all. So it's about 6:30. It's been a good day, but it's also been pretty dang cold. So I'm looking forward to a hot dinner. Tonight I'm gonna make a stew, which is one of my favorite things to make. I'm gonna use that leftover turkey and rice from lunch today. Throw in some sweet potatoes, some green beans, and some bone broth. Should be pretty tasty. Let's make it happen. First, I'll add in chopped sweet potatoes over medium-high heat and give those a stir. Then I'll add in the green beans too. And once again, just stir those around and let them cook through a little ways. And then I'll add the bone broth. I've also used stock and water, but this one was on sale and I do love bone broth. Then I'll add in the leftovers from lunch. Give all that a good stir. And then put the lid on. After a little while, I'll check it just to see how things are going and give it a stir. And once the sweet potatoes are done, the whole thing's ready. All right, y'all, so that's pretty much it. I may occasionally swap out the type of meat or the produce depending on what's seasonal. And sometimes I'll make a special dish like a curry or a pasta. And if I'm traveling or visiting friends, of course I'll eat out during those times. But I would say 90% of the time, I'm eating some variation of these meals. It's a clean diet, they give me plenty of energy, and it makes me feel good. If you're interested in the macros, I'm gonna put those up now. I hope you found this helpful. As always, if you liked it, like it. And if you really liked it, come along for the ride. A lot more videos headed your way. I'll see you next time.